Hello everyone, this is Ryan from the ProfitTrailer team. Most of you may know me as RF Radio on the official Discord support server. This video is going to be all about errors that can be induced in ProfitTrailer during your setup or installation, either by entering incorrect information into the application's properties file or any of the other files used for setting up your ProfitTrailer client. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first and possibly most common error that people encounter with ProfitTrailer is this one you see on my screen right here. It says error application invalid license. This is most likely caused by improperly entering the API key in your application.properties file. As I've done here, I've just removed the one digit off of my default API key in order to induce this error here. And I'll show you once I've corrected it. It has terminated the bot and never continued, so it's now at a stop point here. So I'm just going to save my application.properties file and try again. So here we go. Let's run this command one more time. And we shall see. So loading required data. It'll go into the version and then Java version immediately following. And there we have it, and it is booting. All right, so that's how you can definitely tell if you've got an API problem, or if you haven't even entered an API key, it'll do the same thing. So be sure that whenever you get this invalid license error, check your application.properties file to make sure that you have populated your default API key and that you have actually registered it with the PT Assistant bot on the Discord support server. If you are not sure how to do that, please look up the process of how to do that in the wiki. Another common error here, this can also occur when you're entering your API keys and secrets. If you don't have a complete secret entered for your API key, in this case this is my default API key secret, it'll throw this error. It says error -1022 signature for this request is not valid. So what it's saying is that I entered my secret for my default API key incorrectly. In the case that I did here to induce this error, all I did was remove the last letter of my API key, secret, and then if I go back to the terminal, I should load it again and make sure that I corrected it by putting the correct character back on the end of it. And we shall see what happens. Here we are loading. And we are seeing the monitoring page pop up, so we have now corrected our error. And it has correct time and everything, and is now, go back to terminal, no further errors, we are back operational. Now, what if you had to do, or say you had a similar thing happen with your trading API secret? What will that look like? Well, let's just give it a shot right here and see. So I've removed the last letter from my trading API secret. We're loading required data. Let's see what it does. Now it'll give you the same message, except it says for trading API key instead. See down here near the bottom of my window, trading API key error, -1022, signature for request is not valid. So this is the same error that you will get for trading API key as for the default API key. And this can be induced if you either enter the secret incorrectly or just don't enter the secret at all. So that is why you need your secret with the API key in the application.properties file. So if I go back here, I've corrected it, and we can verify that just by loading it again and seeing if it corrected the error. Here we are loading required data. And we are starting, and there we have it. We are started. And if we go back to terminal, we see we have no errors. And that is how you correct for an improper secret. Another common error I've seen is when you see this error come up right after it's attempting to start the bot. Error application port 8081 is in use. Close the program using this port, or try server.port application.properties to a different port. So if we set our server port into the application.properties file to something that's already in use, as in my case, I already have an instance of ProfitTrailer running on the same port. So I actually have to change my port number. Since my other bot is using port 8081 already, the first line in this file will have to be changed to port 8083 or some other port that I know is not in use. So if I do that now, and go back to my terminal window here, and just try and run the bot again, I should see that it will now work correctly. As we see loading required data, and we should see the versions. There we are. And now we see it actually progressing with the boot. It should pop up our monitoring window. And yes, it is working. If we go back to terminal, we can verify we have no more errors. So that is how you correct for an improper or a duplicated port number that's already in use. Another common error encountered is when you have this error pop up on your screen. It says, please use one of the following values in the trading.exchange, Poloniex, Bittrex, or Binance. Now this will happen if you either don't spell the name of your exchange correctly, or if you just neglect to put in an exchange name in your application.properties file, as I did here. I put trading.exchange equals and just left it blank, and that will induce this error message you see here on the screen. So in order to correct that, first we have to just go into your application.properties file and specify the exchange that you want, save the file, and then try loading your client again. As we see here, this should load. And once again, we are bringing up the ProfitTrailer monitoring page. And we now have an error-free launch. If we go back to terminal, no further errors. And there you have it. That is how you correct for an incorrect exchange error. And remember, this will happen if you either neglect to enter an exchange name or if you spell it incorrectly. One particular error that can cause a little bit of grief here is when you enter something incorrectly in your indicator.properties file, indicators.properties, and it comes up with this message on screen. Binance does not support this period. So what I have running right now, since I'm running the low BB strategy on my bot just as a test, if you go into your indicators.properties file and look at your BB period, or whichever strategy you're using, if you're using EMAs or SMAs, check that period and make sure it matches what is compatible with the exchange. Now, how do we know what is compatible with the exchange? If we go to the Wiki, and we see here under, let's just find it down here, there is exchange info on the left hand side under trading. You see this exchange info link. We go there, and since I'm on Binance, I use the one here at the top, and it will tell us which periods here in this chart are compatible. So if it's not one of these ones here in the chart, it will throw this other error we see right here saying Binance does not support this period. Okay, so I'm just going to quit the bot for the moment. I'm going to go back to brackets, correct this to one that the exchange does support, save it, and we should be able to relaunch it and verify if this does correct the issue. As we see, loading required data. And as we can see now, it's going to pop up the monitoring window. It looks like things are running okay. We go back to the bot, and we see we have no errors. So that's how you correct for an improper period set in your indicators.properties file. Well, that's all I have for the errors induced during setup, specifically with the application.properties and indicators.properties files. And I will probably have a couple more videos on the pairs.properties and DCA.properties files and what can happen when entering values improperly with those. I hope you had as much fun watching me mess up my bot as I did doing it and producing this video for you. And hope you guys found it informational and educational at the same time. Until the next video, stay safe and happy trading. We will see you on the next video. If you have any questions or are in need of further support, please visit the ProfitTrailer Wiki, and if it does not answer all of your questions, come on over to the ProfitTrailer official support server at the link displayed on your screen.